for the drone sightings in her district. Congresswoman, good to have you with us today. I'm curious what you think about Senator Cory Booker's statement there, where he says that they pose no known threat. Do we know that? Have you been told that as a member of Congress?
Well, it may be no known threat, but it could still potentially be a threat, and that's what we're trying to figure out right now. I've also reached out to FAA, to the Department of Homeland Security, and to the FBI asking for answers, and they are aware of these aircrafts. They're either unmanned aircrafts or drones, and they're still trying to figure out where they're coming from and who's behind them. But following what happened with the Chinese spy balloon, that simply is not enough. We saw how the Biden administration failed to keep our airspace safe. And the fact that a Chinese spy balloon was able to go all across the country without intervention was very problematic, and it was a threat to our national security. And so we demand to know who is behind these aircrafts or drones and what is their intention. And there needs to be restrictions put in place as well.
I mean, it's kind of mind-boggling to figure out why we can't just take one of these out of the sky and investigate it. Do you have an answer for that?
I don't have any answers, and it's because these agencies just simply have not been forthcoming. I'm getting the same response, the cookie-cutter response that you're seeing in the newspaper articles relating to this, and it's just not enough. There were restrictions put in place on certain areas, including Bedminster, that these drones could not fly over. And I'm requesting that the same thing happen in my district, because last night a constituent saw one of these drones hovering over the Verrazano Bridge, which connects Staten Island and Brooklyn, and on one side of that you have the Coast Guard base at Fort Wadsworth, and on the other side of that we have an Army base in Fort Hamilton in Brooklyn. And so it is very concerning that they're choosing to fly these things over, as Phil Murphy said, sensitive infrastructure or military installations, and we deserve and demand answers, and we would expect our government agencies to have those answers for elected officials.
100%. I mean, how is it possible? And when you mentioned Bedminster, obviously that's the location of the Trump golf course and club, and they've gone over that area. But so now, are you saying that they're no longer going over that area?
Well, we were told by the FAA that they had put in place flight restrictions above that area and military installation in New Jersey. We're asking for the same to be done in my community, especially over our Coast Guard base, the Verrazano Bridge, as well as the U.S. Army military installation, Fort Hamilton in Brooklyn. But at the end of the day, the public deserves answers, and we need to know what these things are.
I guess the reason I bring that up is if whoever's flying them has the wherewithal to understand that they're not allowed to fly them in these couple of places anymore, and now they're no longer flying them there, obviously, someone has some awareness of where these are coming from or how to get messages to the people. I mean, it's either some sort of hoax, someone, joking around and trying to make everyone talk about this, or it's a foreign government that is doing surveillance. It's, we spend a lot of money on defense. It's mind-boggling that we haven't figured this out by now.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
And one of my colleagues reached out to me this morning. It's happening in Pennsylvania as well. And the bottom line is these should be intercepted by our government. There's no excuse for what is happening.
Unbelievable. Thank you, Congresswoman Malliotakis. Hopefully the next time we talk, this will be no longer a mystery.
Hope
Crazy.
So.
All right. So new details on the 26-year-old